Now here for reaction, we have former New York City mayoral candidate Curtis Sliwa and former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi. Curtis, by the way, I haven't talked to you since the mayoral race. You did really well in a city where Republicans are outnumbered, I think, 10-1. And you ran on a platform that says refund the police, just the opposite.
And in fact, if you notice, in the first month of the new mayor, crime is up 40%. We've had 6 cops shot, unfortunately 2 who died. And we thought it was bad with de Blasio for 8 years. Eric Adams stopped styling and profiling, crack down on crime, arrest people with guns in the street, mandatory 1 year, get the undercover units out there because they know how to make arrests, and put the pressure on your prosecutors who want to hug those thugs and turn them loose. He's got to start acting mayoral. He's got to start cracking down on crime.
He's got to, and his city is not safe. And he got a lot of heat when he said that, oh, our subways are safe, and then he changed his mind. Pam Bondi, this is not just a New York phenomenon. This is nationwide, especially in blue states run by liberal Democrats for decades. Blue cities run by liberal Democrats for decades. Why?
Why? And Sean, it's going to change. And, you know, these Democrats are going to have to own these policies about defund the police. The people who are getting the most affected are their constituents. And I don't think that there's a reason why pro-military, former law enforcement officers are coming out of the woodwork to run for office. Look at Derek Van Orden in Wisconsin, Ryan Zieke, Montana. I hope Morgan Ortagus runs in Tennessee, Ken Paxton, Texas. All over the country, we need law and order candidates. And you just saw today, I believe, George Soros sunk $125 million into these Democrat races. Americans are sick of it. This isn't Republican, Democrat. This is right, wrong, good, bad, morality versus evil, keeping our police officers safe, their families safe, our streets safe, our kids safe. That's what this is about, and America's ready to take back America.
And Curtis, you have now in New York City. We've been friends a long time. I used to run into Curtis in the subway. Anytime I was on the subway, there he was. It didn't matter what time of day or night it happened to be. The good old days. But you know, I'm looking at the new DA in New York and looking at the statements they made. You and I have both covered stories of bank robbers. They're thankful because they get caught robbing a bank, they get processed, they get released, and then they go rob another bank. I think we had one guy do it, what, 4 or 5 times in a row?
That, and they get remediation. They don't even go to jail. They get cookies and milk, and a counselor tells them, now don't do that any longer. And with the Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg, you walk into a Walgreens and right away you say, can I have my Alvin Bragg bag because I'm going to go shoplifting? And then you basically loot the entire store. New York City's a ghost town. People don't want to work here. They don't want to come here because of crime. And so New York leads and the others follow. So if we don't get control of our streets and subways and parks, well, then anarchy will prevail, and people will continue to flee south of the Mason-Dixon line, as they are, to North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Texas, Tennessee, and parts unknown. There's a mass exodus from these large cities, Chicago, Los Angeles, San Francisco, St. Louis, Philadelphia, because of crime and the unwillingness of the officials to lock up the criminals and throw away the key. They're more concerned about the criminals than they are the citizens, especially the elderly, who are forced into solitary confinement because they can't leave their apartments. And
so
these
sad.
officials are upset that prisoners are in solitary confinement.
Last word, last 30 seconds, Pam.
Well, President Biden saying he doesn't want to defund the police. Let your actions speak louder than your words. President Trump gave surplus military equipment to our law enforcement to keep them safe. First thing President Biden did, undid that. Give it back to them. Protect our borders. Protect our borders so criminals aren't coming through our streets. Drugs aren't flowing in our country. That's what we have to do. That's why 2022, Sean, you know it more than anyone, is so important to our country. We have to elect good people who are going to protect the citizens of our country.
Well said, both of you. Thank you. All right.